This is KGW News at noon.
Today at noon, we begin with weather, from cold, icy conditions in some spots of the valley to lots of snow in the mountains. Hello, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich. Let's hop outside real quick for a look from a few of our sky cams. We've got our Wells Fargo camera in Portland, one in the Dalles, and another out on the coast at the Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. A whole lot of gray out there, some rain even on the lens there. But yeah, a whole lot of different conditions. Up at Timberline this morning, lots of snow on the ground. Coming down to today, both Timberline and Meadows are open for skiing and boarding, but it's limited with a few lifts up and running. Rod Hill's been keeping tabs on the weather, and Rod, depending on where people woke up, they could have seen a variety of conditions. What is in store for the rest of the day?
Well, it has been interesting. You know, Christine, the moisture came in earlier than I thought it would, and because of that, when that moisture came in the 7 o'clock hour this morning, still caught valley temperatures around freezing, and in many cases we're just now starting to bump up with light precipitation blanketing the area. The green is rain. That's I-5 Salem up into Portland, and really I-5 all the way up into Longview. But then you start getting up in elevations a little bit. There's the Chehalem Mountains, and then right here is the West Hills. Radar still picking at 1,000 feet, snow falling in those areas, and even lower elevations out into parts of Washington and Yamhill counties. Here are the temperatures. Now, mostly, even in spots where radar is showing some light snow still in the air, temps have warmed above freezing. 37 Hillsborough, but look at Forest Grove out near the Coast Range, 33. Scappoose, 38. Salem has been above freezing all morning, 41. There's Estacada at 37 degrees. So this camera that Christine just showed you from the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Loa, that had a very light grassy dusting early this morning, but that has melted off as temperatures have warmed to just above freezing. We've stayed above freezing all morning. We will continue to be so in downtown Portland. Raindrops on the camera lens. We're at 40. And if you haven't been keeping up, it still looks like temperatures will get up to 40 where we are now, and will actually stay and rise up into the 40s overnight tonight. So overnight tonight, anything less than 2,000 feet will be rain. That means this is the camera at 1,500 feet at the Mount Hood, Oregon Resort. The golf course in Welch's looks like at least 2-3 inches right there on top of the some of the columns. This should transition into rain overnight. Lots of parts of this forecast, including a wind advisory for the valley that has been issued. Details on that coming up in just a bit.
Okay, thank you, Rod. The weather we've had is making for some pretty dangerous road conditions in some spots. For instance, in eastern Oregon, crashes closed I-84 for hours in both directions from Pendleton to La Grande yesterday. That's a 50-mile stretch crossing the Blue Mountains. The freeway was back open by the time this morning rolled around, but this particular section of freeway has already seen multiple weather-related traffic jams and closures this year. And while we're talking weather, a quick reminder from the National Weather Service. This time of year, they, of course, expect temperatures to dip below freezing. And that means roads could go from wet to icy just like that. They tweeted this graphic to show what's going on with the weather when it gets cold out. The yellow areas there are above 32 degrees or above freezing, while the blue areas are below freezing. We've got snow and rain on the left and right, sleet in the middle. Those are droplets that freeze and form ice before they hit the ground. Then there's freezing rain, which is rain that freezes on contact with the ground. And then here are some tips if you get caught outside, say if you're hiking in a winter storm. First, find shelter. Some people are equipped to build something like a snow cave. You can also cover your entire body. Make sure to stay dry. Melt snow to drink. Don't eat it because that could lower your body temperature even more. And remember to move around to keep warm. Then when you're on the road, common sense rules here. Slow down. Don't use cruise control. Keep your distance from other cars. And of course, carry chains. Know how to use them. And remember to pack an emergency bag for the car with things like flashlights, a phone charger, snacks, gloves, anything you might need in a pinch. And take a peek at Trip Check before you head out. Now to Portland's homeless crisis. The city council is expected to vote tomorrow on how to pay for Mayor Ted Wheeler's plan to address homelessness. City council approved the mayor's 5-part plan earlier this month. To pay for it, Mayor Wheeler is proposing several changes to the city's budget. Projected costs include a $4 million down payment to start building 6 large homeless campuses around the city of Portland. $750,000 would be spent on private security at the campuses and surrounding neighborhoods, and it would cost more than $12 million to run the sites.
These allocations are a down payment on that work, and they demonstrate the city's commitment to clearing the path for accelerated production of affordable housing and better connecting homeless individuals to services, employment, and diversion programs.
One of the biggest questions, where will the city build these homeless campuses? Council members agree they should be spread out around the city and set up near public transit, but also kept away from residential areas and schools. We don't know when the city will announce the locations, but we do know the vote on funding is expected tomorrow. Right now in Multnomah County, there's a proposal to ban flavored tobacco products because there's concern the products may appeal to kids. Last night, dozens of people showed up to weigh in. Our Christelle Kumwe was there and brings us the story.
It was a packed house Monday night at the Multnomah County building.
To urge you to take action to end the sale of flavored tobacco products.
I am here today to oppose the total tobacco flavor ban.
Dozens made their voices heard at a public hearing on the county's proposed ban on the sale of flavored tobacco and nicotine products. That would include e-cigarettes and vapes.
Well, we know these are deadly products, and they're marketed in a way by the tobacco industry to hook kids on a lifetime of addiction, including menthol.
Ruth Atkins, along with others from the Flavors Hook Oregon Kids Coalition, came here in support of the ban. They say for too long, the tobacco industry has targeted youth, especially kids of color.
The fastest growing populations in the state of Oregon and the city of Portland are kids of color.
And Marcus C. Mundy says it's time to protect these kids.
I would tell Multnomah County, if they care about the kids in Multnomah County, they will vote to ban the flavored and menthol tobacco products.
But opponents of the ban say not so fast.
I have been selling tobacco in Multnomah County for 18 years. This is my passion and my livelihood.
Brian Grimm owns a tobacco shop. He argues the ban will create a black market for these products and just hurt small businesses.
I have 3 families that work for me. They've all worked for me over a decade. They'd probably lose their livelihood, and I would definitely have to probably close shop.
We believe there's a better plan than a one county ban, which will force adult consumers to take their business across county lines.
Multnomah County isn't the only one making this move. Last year, Washington County voted to ban the sale of flavored tobacco. In September, a circuit judge overturned the ban, but the county is appealing. In Multnomah County, supporters are unfazed.
And we're confident that the judge's ruling will be overturned in time, and the Multnomah County is on firm legal standing to proceed with their own policy.
And opponents are vowing to take on the policy.
If this passes in its current form, we will fight this vigorously as well.
Christelle Kumwe, KGW News.
To another big issue we've been covering for weeks, the lack of public defenders in Oregon. The shortage is severe, we're told, and it's causing legal cases to be dismissed and keeping people waiting in jail. Our Daisy Caballero talked to Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici, who introduced a bill that could help fix the problem.
We need more public defenders to have a functioning criminal justice system.
Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici has introduced the Ensuring Quality Access to Legal Defense Act, or Equal Defense Act for short. It would provide $250 million in federal grant money to be spread across the country. Oregon in particular has a massive shortage of court-appointed attorneys. We need 1,300 more.
I really want to make sure that our criminal justice system is working as it should. And right now, sadly, it's not. And we've seen that, particularly recently in Multnomah County, where cases had to be dismissed because with this right to counsel, they can't prosecute a case.
The American Bar Association found Oregon only has 31% of the public defenders it needs. If you can't get a lawyer, you can't have your case heard. So the shortage has led to Multnomah County judges dismissing nearly 300 criminal cases since February.
If we only had the public defense lawyers we currently have, it's virtually impossible to meet the needs.
There's no shortage of lawyers. They're just not choosing this type of work. Oregon's the only only state in the nation that relies entirely on contractors like large nonprofit defense firms or small private defense attorneys that contract for cases. And many of them are not taking on new cases because of the workload and poor pay rates.
I started with a number of other attorneys, and I'm the only one still at this office from the people who started on the same day I did, because the work is so hard, because the work is underpaid, because the work is so much stress and vicarious trauma in a lot of ways.
If passed, this bill would limit workload for full-time public defenders and start closing the pay gap between them and prosecutors within the next 5 years. Public defenders are often right out of law school, so this bill would also provide an additional $5 million for training grants for government and nonprofit agencies. Daisy Caballero, KGW News.